Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shelly Keniston. I'm the Director of Off Campus and Commuter Student Services. And during this session, we're going to talk to you about being a commuter student at BSU and living off campus. So I'm going to have the students that are with me today introduce themselves. Katie?
Hi, my name's Katie Pitello. I'm a junior at Bridgewater. I'm a commuter. I commute this year. I lived in an off-campus apartment last year. And my first year, I lived on campus. I'm studying education and psychology, and I'm the undergraduate intern in this office.
Andrew?
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew. I'm actually a graduate student here at BSU, but I graduated in May 2020 with an economics and a minor in management. I lived off campus for 3 years. I commuted for one semester, and I lived off campus my last year. So I'm sort of all three of them in one. And that's me.
Perfect. So first, I just want to share some basic information about this office. So I'm Shelly. I am the director. We do have 6 student staff members. So 2 graduate students. Andrew's one of those. And then 4 undergraduate students. Katie serves in one of those roles, but as an undergraduate intern. And we're going to talk a little more about exactly what Commuter Ambassadors are a little bit later in the presentation. Our office currently is located in East Campus Commons, which is where one of the dining halls are on the east side of campus. There's information, feel free at any point during this session to email us, but to take down the information to email us or call with any questions at any time during the week. But today, if you have questions as we go, both Katie and Andrew are following along in the chat, so they'll be able to respond or highlight your question for everybody if it's with what we're talking about. But anything that pops in your mind, feel free to pop it in there, and we will get to it. And then as you think about Bridgewater, we have our social media there, of course, just so that you can follow along, see some of the things that we highlight, what we're doing, and what the office tends to do. I share our mission statement with you to highlight the part where we do offer programs and services working with current and prospective off-campus and commuter student needs. And so as you go through the process, as you're thinking about Bridgewater, we are a resource for you, especially if your plan is to commute from the beginning of your time. So we want to help you with those steps and whatever that entails. So please feel free to reach out to us at any point. I want to clarify some terminology so that you understand what the difference is. A lot of folks tend to ask the question, your office is for off-campus and commuter student services. What's the difference? So for us, a commuter student is someone who stays living at home, commutes to campus. So whichever format they commute in, they're coming to campus, but they've never really left home. They're still living at home, parents, guardians, or family members. And then for us, an off-campus student is someone that has moved out from home. They're not living in university-owned housing, but they rent an apartment really close by. We have probably 400 to 600 students that rent and live right here in Bridgewater, all within walking distance to campus. So I like to highlight that for people so that you kind of see that we're kind of multifaceted. So now I'm going to turn it over to Katie.
So it's important to keep in mind that a lot of students at Bridgewater, over 65%, are commuters, and those are numbers pre-COVID. So obviously this semester is a little different and a lot of people are from home. But even before that happened, still over 7,000 of the students at Bridgewater don't live there and live at home or in an off-campus apartment. So this includes all different types of students. There's traditional age students who are coming out of high school. There's non-traditional students, maybe if they're in their 40s or their 50s, they're going back to school, undergraduate, graduate, pretty much any type of student that could be enrolled at Bridgewater. And to commute, people, they drive, they carpool, take buses. the commuter rail, a bike. There's so many options for commuting. And that's why I think a lot of people, it's so accessible for them.
Andrew?
Yeah, so on this slide, we'll talk about, or it sort of highlights the differences between high school and college education. So one of the major differences, obviously you can read through these, but I won't touch upon all of them, but some of the major differences that I noticed when I first started college was there's no bells or no schedule that's set beside your own. So when you have your first class in the morning, your second class won't come around with a bell, or you won't have a lunch break that is sort of given to you. You run on your own schedule. And however you want to make your schedule is up to you. Again, it's a lot of independent and autonomous sort of decision making and schedule making. And then you'll see there's no progress reports. Not sure how high school is now, but when I was in high school, we had about 6 progress reports or sort of checkpoints throughout the year. In college, there's only one sort of checkpoint, and it's sort of your own checkpoint. It's a midterm portion. You'll notice that a lot of students have similar midterm and final times, and that's sort of your responsibility or opportunity to look and say, okay, here's what I got for the first couple of assignments, and here's how I did. This is what it looks like I'm going to get for a grade. But again, there's no sort of check-in with your grades besides your own. That leads into the next portion, where is homework. So homework is really laid out for you through your syllabus. So each of your classes will have their own syllabus, and that lays out, usually teachers are pretty good, or professors are pretty good with it. They lay out what you'll have for homework 1 week, the next week, when your test will be. So you're able to sit down if you'd like and finish about a month's worth of work in a couple of hours if you'd like. But again, that's a lot different from high school, where you're given reminders and et cetera, but it's up to you and your responsibility to make sure that you have sort of your syllabus and schedule all set. And then the last thing I want to sort of touch upon is teachers and professors are a lot different. So teachers in high school will sort of usually remember your name, sort of local, or and sort of a better connection. Not that you won't be connected with professors here, but it's sort of your responsibility, again, to meet with your professors, reach out to them yourself, make a difference in class and sort of talk in class and participate, because these teachers are also professionals outside of class. They're doing their own research. They might have another job as well. And a lot of them are doctors too. Like, they have their doctorate, so they're doing some serious research out of class. So they have a lot on their plate, and it's your responsibility, again, I keep saying it, but to sort of keep track of your professors, the syllabus, and basically all independent work.
So as I kind of touched on before, there's a ton of different ways that you can get to campus, or that you can go around campus. So we do have transportation on campus. We have buses. Some buses there's one bus that goes to Brockton and back, and the train station. There's the shuttle service. You can get a parking decal if you're driving to campus at the beginning of the semester, and that allows you to park in the commuter parking lots. There's also a bike rental program on campus, so that there's a set of bikes in different places on campus, and you can actually rent them out for a couple dollars and use them for a certain amount of time. So that's a really cool feature. There's also the discounted train pass for the MBTA, where if you're a student and you go to Bridgewater, you can get a discounted pass so that you can use the train to get to and from school. So a little bit more about what our commuter ambassadors do in the office. Commuter ambassadors are typically upperclassmen who have been commuters before or are currently commuters, and they're there to serve you as commuters. So they provide outreach programs, challenges on social media, just fun things to get you engaged and to make you feel like you're part of the campus community. They'll also remind you if there's important things going on. If you do end up coming to Bridgewater and you are a commuter, if you follow us on social media, we update on if there's events going on or if there's something fun to do on campus. They'll help you navigate the campus, especially if you're a commuter, you might not know the campus as well as a resident student. So if you need anything, as Shelly kind of mentioned in the beginning, we're a resource that you can reach out to at any time.
Leading into this, so on top of all that Katie and Shelly mentioned that we do, it's our responsibility and our job, basically. We're hired to sort of keep commuters engaged. Like we said before, 7,000 students are commuters. That's the majority of our students on campus. And without commuters on campus, we can't have all these great clubs and opportunities and et cetera. So it's so easy to get involved on campus. And I think the biggest thing as a commuter, when you're coming on campus, you're sort of nervous to sort of step out of your comfort zone, or you feel sort of less welcome because you're not living on campus. But I promise you that's not the case. We have so many opportunities at BSU, as you can see, for every major, minor, whatever your interests are. Sports, if you like to play intramural sports just for fun, we have those. We have a huge network of intramural sports, and all of these different clubs and organizations on campus. On top of the clubs and organizations, we have so many opportunities for on-campus employment as well. And that's not just work study. You'll get into work study and sort of that stuff later as you progress to college, but we have jobs that are part-time on campus as well. And then, of course, Greek life is awesome on campus. I was in Greek life. I highly encourage you to sort of research and check that out as well. And again, our commuters are 7,000 of them. So you students are the leaders and sort of lead the way for the next sort of group of students that come in. If they see all these commuters, like, oh yeah, the commuters are actually engaged on campus. And that's our goal. We're trying to make sure that not only the resident students are engaged and have opportunities to meet, connections, network, and plan awesome events. And again, all of this is at BSU, and all of this can be found online, which you'll learn more about throughout the sessions you'll attend. We have our own involvement network for this, and it lists everything we do on campus. And I highly encourage you to either reach out to our office or sort of take a look at the involvement network and just poke around to see what you can find.
Great. Katie, you want to share a few of the things that you're involved with as well?
Yeah, so of course, I work in this office. Last year, actually, when we opened up the office, I was one of the first Commuter Ambassadors. Most of my involvement is with on-campus jobs. Last year, I was also a peer advisor in the Academic Achievement Center. The fitness center is a great way to get to know people, especially they offer like group fitness classes. So that was one of the things I was involved with as well. Community service opportunities. There's a ton of offices that will help you get engaged and things like that if you're interested. And all the clubs are very welcoming. They really encourage new people to join. So like Andrew said, absolutely. If you want to join something like that or Greek life, those are great ways to get involved and to get to know people, especially as a commuter.
So I just want to touch on this. And right now, Katie or Andrew are going to throw a link to another video that you can watch later. But I'm just going to touch on, if you are looking for an off-campus apartment, just kind of that process, or if you're thinking about it in coming here, that's going to be something that you're interested in right away. We do host an off-campus housing database that is accessible. So until you are a BSU student, you would just have to email me, and I could print one or copy one of those and email it to you to give you a sense of what landlords have listed. But basically, we partner with over 70 landlords right now in the area that post to our off-campus housing database, and they rent only to college students. So for us, that posting system is great. A lot of our students go there to look to see what's available. We can help with finding roommates. We have a mobile app. I'm sure you've probably already heard a bit about that. And we always have a category for new bears and new transfers, where you can see that there's other people and commuters that are looking for roommates for off-campus living. It is cheaper, obviously, to live with roommates, but there's other options, rooms for rent, things like that. And then the video that just went up, that's just a video that actually Andrew and Katie, who are here now, myself and two landlords that are in Bridgewater, recorded that gives you kind of a play-by-play of looking for an apartment off campus in the Bridgewater area. It gives you things to remember, things to highlight. So that's just an additional resource that you might want to check out if it is something that you're considering, and we would have it available again later, of course. So I want to leave this slide up, and I'm going to talk briefly. I just want to highlight a couple of things. So obviously, we talk about these things, and this is exactly how it was pre-COVID, right? And so hopefully depending on when you're looking to come, whether it's for, fall 21 or a little bit later, maybe just a little bit sooner, obviously all of the things that we do, we've adapted to be in the virtual world currently, and things would go back to person once we were to come back. But a couple of things that are different even right now is just how we're engaging. So a lot of it, if you do follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you will see that we put out a lot of kind of virtual programming, just engagement opportunities where they can comment and chat back and forth. We have office hours that the student ambassadors and student staff host for commuters just to come in if they have questions. But there's other things that are available at other times. So, they've made some changes to parking and some of those pieces. So everything's been adapted. And, right now, like we alluded to, there's over 9,000 students that are commuting. There's only about 1,200 of our students that are living on right now, which is significantly lower than it normally is. And then, so there's been some adaptations to, like, parking is free for commuters right now, and a few other things. But just to give you a sense, I wanted to make sure to highlight that. So these students, 3 currently work for me. Alexis did just graduate in May, but he was actually my first intern. So what Katie's doing this year was Alexis last year. And then, of course, there's Andrew, and then Javon is one of our current commuter ambassadors as well. There's talk about why they chose to come to Bridgewater. And everyone's decision, of course, is personal, but it helps to talk to others. And similar, I think Katie and Andrew both said this, but if there were specific questions, you could contact our office, and any of the ambassadors could get back to you for sure if you want to talk to a student that has commuted, just to learn more on your own. Sometimes the student to student piece is much easier. So here's back to our contact info. I want to leave this here for a few minutes. Thank you for participating, and we hope to see you with us here soon.